Hi students, we are discussing kinematics. So we are completed two-dimensional motion, projectiles after that. So this in kinematics we are discussing translatory motion, rectilinear motion. Translatory motion can be divided into two types. Rectilinear motion, that is body moves in a straight line. Second one, body moves in a curved path, curvilinear motion. So we are discussing this translatory motion into two parts. The first one is rectilinear motion, that is one-dimensional motion we are completed. Second one is curvilinear motion. In that curvilinear motion, we discussed two-dimensional motions. Examples, projectiles I discussed it. Okay. The next one is, in this curvilinear motion is a part of curvilinear motion is circular motion. So in today's class I am going to explain this circular motion, kinematics of circular motion. So this circular motion, body moves in a circular motion. So let it be, see the few examples. A boy cycling in a curved path. As the boy and cycle together, if you consider as a particle, that boy moves in a circular motion. So we will treat as a point mass that boy and cycle, and it moves in a circular path. Okay, that is one example. And the second example is a stone tied to a string and whirled in a horizontal circle. A stone tied to a string and whirled in a horizontal circle. So that is a second example for this circular motion. In these circular motions, so what are the examples for circular motion? Examples for circular motion is a boy cycling in a circular path. And the second example, a stone tied to a string. Stone tied to a string and whirled in a horizontal circle. So why I say horizontal circle? Because there is another circle, vertical circle is also there. So this plane of rotation, this circular motion is an example for this circular motion is an example for two-dimensional motion. So it's the plane of rotation. It may be horizontal or vertical or inclined. Generally we are taking this horizontal plane, most of the examples. And in this horizontal plane, when a body is particle, we will treat here the boy as a particle. Boy and cycle, we will treat it as a particle, and without this boy is moving in a circular path. Okay, so here we will treat this body is in translatory motion. So that's why we will treat that body as a particle. Okay. When a particle rotates in a circular path, its velocity continuously changes. Direction of velocity continuously changes, as even though speed of the particle remains the same. So in a circular motion, the velocity direction changes continuously, even though the speed of the particle remains same. So as velocity changes, it possesses acceleration. So that acceleration, so direction is also changes continuously. Hence we can say that it is an example for non-uniform circular motion. So it is an example for non-uniform circular motion. So the kinematic equations, that is V is equal to U plus AT, S is equal to ut plus half at square. Such equations, 4 equations of motion, we cannot apply here. Okay. So to analyze this motion, let us consider a particle moves in a circular path. Okay. Let us analyze this motion. I assumed a particle moving in a circular path. Okay. So its position of the particle, let it be P. Position of the particle on the circular path, let it be P. So this position of the particle is represented with a vector that is called a radius vector. It is along OP bar. So that means it makes an angle theta with the x-axis. So I assumed this x-axis and this one is y-axis. Okay. So I assumed these x dash, y dash, I assumed as x-axis and y-axis. So this plane of rotation is in the xy plane. I assumed O as the origin. Now let P be the initial position of the particle. Let it be t is equal to 0. So initial position of the particle, let it be P naught. So after t seconds, since it is moving with the uniform speed, I assumed that it is moving with the uniform speed. So after t seconds, the position of the particle, let it be P. Position of the particle, let it be P. When time is t seconds. So when time starts, P is the position of the particle. So it is moving, I assumed that uniform speed. So I consider a particle. So whose initial position is, so let P naught be the initial position of the particle. It is represented with vector position vector, that is position vector. Position vector is represented as OP bar. Okay, that I take it as R bar. Okay, that position vector I write it as OP bar. So its magnitude of this vector OP bar, magnitude is magnitude of R bar, that I assumed as R. What is R? Radius of the circle. Radius of the circle. Okay. So this position changes with respect to time. Let V be the speed of the particle. Let V be the speed of the particle. Speed of the particle. I assumed that it is uniform initially. Uniform speed. So as it moves from P0 to P along the circular path, its new position after t seconds will be P. So it turns through an angle theta. It turns through an angle theta in a time t seconds. So it turns through an angle. So O is the position, origin. So it turns through an angle theta. Okay. This theta is called angular displacement. So what is theta? Here I can call it as angular displacement. As linear displacement we discussed. Now I am going to introduce new term, that is angular displacement. It is measured in radians. So its SI unit is radians. So this angular displacement, angular position changes. It is with respect to time. So theta value changes. So this P to P is the displacement of the distance of the particle. This is the actual path traveled by the particle. Let it be delta S or S. Let it be S. So the path length P to P0 to P, path length I assumed it as S. So if R is the S, this theta. So here I am introducing new physical quantity, that is angular velocity. So here I am introducing new physical quantity, that is angular velocity. So what is angular velocity? The rate of change of angular displacement. The rate of change of angular displacement. Angular displacement. That is, as I defined linear velocity. So linear velocity we can define as the rate of change of linear displacement. So when a body moves in a circular path, we are using angular displacement and angular velocity. So as we defined this, if theta is small, delta theta by delta t, we can call it as omega. As delta t tends to 0. So limit delta t tends to 0, omega is defined as d theta by dt, where omega is called angular velocity. Angular velocity is represented with the letter omega. How we can read omega? So omega is delta theta by delta t, as delta t tends to 0. So its units becomes, if theta is this, we can also write it as omega is equal to d theta by dt. So mathematically this we can also write it as d theta by dt, or we can write theta by t. Okay, if theta is large values, we can write it as, or we can write omega is equal to theta by t. Angular displacement by time is angular velocity. So its units for omega is radian. Theta is measured in radians, time is measured in second. So radian second inverse is a unit of angular velocity. This is a vector quantity. Its direction is perpendicular to the plane of rotation. Its direction is perpendicular to the plane of rotation if it is moving in anti-clockwise. So it is perpendicular to the plane of rotation outwards. That we can represent it with a dot. So here I introduced this omega, angular velocity. Omega is a vector quantity. So what is its magnitude is given by these formulas, and its direction is, how its direction is perpendicular to the plane of rotation, plane of revolution, perpendicular to the plane of revolution along the axis. Hence it is also called axial vectors. Sometimes these vectors are also called axial vectors. Such vectors. Axial vector means its direction is along the axis of rotation. So its direction is perpendicular to the plane of rotation along the axis. It is outwards if direction of rotation is anti-clockwise direction. So if revolution is along the anti-clockwise direction, it is perpendicular to the plane outwards. It is represented with a dot surrounded by circle. And perpendicular to the plane of revolution along the axis inwards. Inwards if particle rotating clockwise direction. Clockwise rotation. This is clockwise rotation. Anti-clockwise revolution. Okay. So clockwise, it is represented with a cross, perpendicular to the plane, cross. Cross means inwards, perpendicular to the plane of rotation, inwards. That means it is along the axis like this. So this chalk, this holder indicates the axis of rotation. Okay. If it is anti-clockwise, perpendicular to the plane inwards, anti-clockwise, perpendicular to the plane outwards like this. This is called a screw rule. Screw rule or right hand thumb rule. Okay. This is the direction of rotation. Then this thumb indicates direction of omega. If it is like this, if it is clockwise, then it is perpendicular to the plane inwards. So that is omega. So this is angular velocity. I will give few examples to this angular velocity. Okay. And before going to this example, I want to relate it between linear velocity and angular velocity, because the particle is rotating, moving from P0 to P with uniform speed. I assumed like that. As it's a uniform speed, its velocity changes continuously, as I said. So the direction of velocity is given by tangent. If you want a velocity direction, you draw a tangent at that point. Suppose I want here velocity direction, so it will be along the tangent. So this tangent indicates the direction of velocity. So here, if you want, you draw a tangent at this point. Okay. So here, if you want, you draw a tangent here. So this tangent indicates the direction of velocity. So this velocity direction changes continuously, even though magnitude of velocity remains the same. Direction of velocity changes. Since the direction changes, it possesses acceleration. That acceleration is also variable acceleration. Now, as the particle moves from P0 to P, okay, it has linear velocity. So what is the magnitude of linear velocity? Is magnitude of speed. What is its direction? Is along the tangent. I want to relate between this linear velocity and the angular velocity. So the next one is relation between linear velocity and the angular velocity. So I want to relate relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. That is, prove that V is equal to R omega. So where V is linear velocity, omega is angular velocity, R is radius of this circle. Okay. How do you relate between these two? So I assumed that P0 is the initial position of the circle. This is the arc length. So P0 to P is the arc length. I assumed it as S. So the rate of change of this distance position we can call it as velocity. So this S, theta and R, how they are related? It looks like a sector. S, P naught, P, O. What is that? P naught, see, P naught, P, theta. Okay, this is radius. This arc length, let it be S. Okay, so it looks like a sector. Okay, now how these three are related? Angle, arc length, this is arc length. Arc length. And this is sector, angle, radius. How these three are related? What is R represents? Radius of the circle. So it is a sector. How these three are related? Theta is the angular displacement. How these three are related? Arc length is equal to, as you know that, from P naught OP sector, arc length is equal to, that is the distance travelled by the particle in a small interval of time. Arc length is equal to radius into sector angle. Radius into angle. Sector angle. So this relation we know that. So S is equal to R into theta. Okay, S is equal to R theta. So if you differentiate this one with respect to time, ds by dt is equal to, what I am doing? I am differentiating with respect to t. Differentiating with respect to time. Because with respect to time, position changes, this displacement changes, and angle changes, angular position changes, but radius remains constant. So I will differentiate with respect to ds by dt is rate of change of displacement is becomes velocity. R is a constant, you keep as it is. Theta, d theta by dt. Okay, d theta by dt, can I write? Omega. So ds by dt, can I write v? So this v is equal to linear velocity. What is v here? V is linear velocity. How is the linear velocity is defined? Linear velocity is defined as v is equal to rate of change of displacement. Its unit is meter second inverse and its direction is along the tangent. And r is radius vector, radius. So its unit is meters, and omega is angular velocity. Angular velocity omega is defined as d theta by dt. Its unit is radian second inverse. Okay. So this is relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So what is this? We can also written in vector form. Okay. See how I am writing in vector form. Here v bar is equal to, we can write it as omega bar cross r bar. I will write in vector form. This is a vector notation. Vector notation. So that is omega bar, r bar, v bar. How direction of v bar is along the tangent. What is omega? Along the holder, perpendicular to the plane of rotation. How this omega and v both are perpendicular to each other, isn't it? So angle between them is 90. So if you write the cross product p bar cross q bar, we studied in vectors, p bar cross q bar is pq sine theta. Okay, so by using that expression we have written omega r sine 90. What is sine 90? This can also be written as 90. So v is equal to r omega sine 90 theta. What is theta here? 90. Theta means angle between omega and r. It is 90. Sin 90 becomes 1. So we got V is equal to r omega. That means this magnitude formula V is equal to r omega we can also written in vector form like this. Okay? Clear? Next one. Okay. Now you take the see few examples. Okay? Suppose examples. So a fan makes 1200 revolutions per minute. Revolutions per minute. That usually we represented with RPM. What is RPM? Revolutions per minute. So a fan makes 1200 revolutions per minute. Find its angular velocity. Okay, this is the problem, simple problem. So the blades of the fan is rotating. Okay, now I want this fan makes its speed of the fan we are measured in RPM. What is RPM? Revolutions per minute. If it is making more revolutions, you will get more A, isn't it? The fan, you are changing its speed. There is a speedometer of the fan that we can change the speed of the fan with the help of speedometer. So how this angular velocity? It makes 1200 revolutions per minute. This omega we can write it as the angular velocity. We can write it as here I will write omega is equal to theta by t. I am using this formula. Okay, so this can also be written as theta is equal to, for one rotation how much it will take? 2 pi per 2 pi radians for one rotation. For one revolution it turns 2 pi radians, and time taken for one revolution. So this also we can write it as t is the time period. Instead of that we can write it as n. So this is another formula for angular velocity. Okay, so where here I introduced another formula. You keep this one where t is the time period. Find angular velocity. I am also saying time period and frequency. Okay, these are the things I need. Okay, so where t is the time period. What is the meaning of time period? Time taken for one revolution. Okay, or one rotation. Here time period is t is equal to time period. N is frequency. N is called frequency. So how these two are related? Frequency is equal to inverse of time period. So this frequency is measured in Hertz. So its SI unit is Hertz or cycles per second, CPS. What is the CPS? Cycles per second. It has SI unit Hertz. The time period SI unit is seconds. Time is measured in seconds. How these two are related? N is equal to 1 by t. So 1 by t can be written as, where n is number of revolutions per second. So if fan makes 1200 revolutions per minute, I want n. N is equal to 2 pi number of revolutions per second. So how many revolutions it will make? 1200 RPM, revolutions per minute. I want to convert into revolutions per second. So I divide with the 60. So then the RPM converted into RPS. What is RPS? Revolutions per second. What is RPM? Revolutions per minute. Okay, so to convert RPM to RPS, divide with 60 per minute. So time should be mentioned in seconds. So 60, you will get 0, 0 get cancelled, 6 2 times. So N is equal to 20 RPS, revolutions per second. That means the blade of the fans makes 20 revolutions per second. In 1 second, it will make 20 revolutions. Okay. Now, this is RPS. Now, I want its angular frequency. So, I will write here. So, angular frequency is given by omega is equal to. So, I want. So, here. I will write here. Okay. So omega is equal to 2 pi n. That is 2 pi. N is 20. So that is 40 pi. Omega is equal to 40 pi radians per second. So this is the answer for this question. Angular velocity I got. Frequency I got. Frequency I got is N. 20 RPS or 20 Hz. 20 Hz. Okay? 20 Hz. So I got frequency also. Okay? I got frequency. I got angular velocity. I want a time period. So what is time period? Time period is equal to. I will write here. Time period is equal to. What is the time period? Time taken for one rotation. So one revolution, 1 by n. So that is 1 by 20. 1 by 20. 1 by 20 is 1 by 2 is 0.5 into 10 power minus 1. That is 0.05 seconds. So that is time period. What is the time period? 0.05 seconds. That means for making one rotation, the blades of the fan will take 0.05 seconds. Clear? So I find omega, time period, frequency. Okay. You take another example. So you take another example. Okay. Example 2. Example 2. Find angular velocity of the self-rotation of the earth. Self-rotation. Of the earth. So we want this. We know that earth is rotating about itself, which causes day and night, isn't it? So the earth is rotating. Earth is a spherical ball. It is rotating about its own axis, that is imaginary axis, passing through north and south poles of the earth. So for one rotation for earth, how much time it will take? 24 hours. So for one self rotation of the earth is rotating west to east direction like this. If this is the axis of rotation, earth is rotating like this, west to east. So for one rotation, it will take 24 hours, which causes day and night. Okay, so I want its angular speed. So angular speed is given by, angular speed of the earth is given by self rotation, is angular velocity is given by 2 pi by t. So for one rotation it will take how much? T is, we can take it as time for self rotation 24 hours. 24 hours. Hours you convert into seconds. This hours is replaced with 1 hour is 60 minutes. 60 minutes, 1 minute is 60 seconds. So this is angular speed of the earth. Unit is radian second inverse. So you simplify this, you will get answer. 2 pi by 24 into 60 into 60. You simplify, you will get answer. Okay. That is angular speed of the earth. Suppose you want in the next example find, I will give one more example. Find angular velocity. Find angular velocity of the seconds, minutes, hours, hand in a clock. Okay. So if length of the seconds hand is length of the seconds hand is 10 centimeters. Find linear velocity of the tip of the seconds hand. So this is the problem. Okay. How do you solve this problem? So how do you solve this problem? Find angular velocity of the seconds, minutes, hours hand in a clock. You know that in a clock there are 3 hands. Seconds hand which shows seconds, minutes hand which will shows minutes, hours hand which will shows hours. Okay, but the time we are measuring it seconds only. So as this clock will be moving like this, so the clock will move like this. So seconds hand, for every 1 second the clock will move like this, tick tick tick. So for every 1 second it will turn certain angle. I want its angular velocity. Okay. So the angular velocity of seconds hand is, it is given by the formula 2 pi by t. For 2 pi, for time, what is t? Time period. Time taken for one complete rotation. How much time it will take? Seconds hand take 60 seconds. How much time it will take? 60 seconds. So that is pi by 30. Units is radian second inverse. I want angular speed of minutes hand. Same formula I am using, 2 pi by t. So for minutes hand, how much its time taken? Minutes hand will take 60 minutes for one rotation, isn't it? So 60 minutes. 60 minutes you convert into seconds. 60. So that is 60 minutes you convert into seconds. So into 60. So we have 2 pi by 60 into 60. Units radian second inverse. This is the angular speed of the minutes hand. Similarly, angular speed of the hours hand I want. So 2 pi by t. Hours hand take how much time for one rotation? 12 hours. How much time it will take? This is 12 hours. 3, 6, 9, 12. So for one rotation it will take 12 hours. So 12 hours. Hours you convert into minutes, seconds. 1 hour is 60 minutes into 60 seconds. So you divide, you get this one. So what is this? 2 pi by 12 into 60 into 60. The units is radian second inverse. So this is the procedure to calculate angular velocity. This angular velocity of seconds hand, minutes hand and hours hand. Can you say which one has more speed? Hours hand, minutes hand or seconds hand? Which one has more angular speed? You see, as denominator increases, this value decreases. So the speeds of this angular speed of seconds hand is greater than angular speed of minutes hand, greater than angular speed of hours hand. That means hours hand will move slow than minutes hand. Minutes hand moves slow than seconds hand. Okay. So that is the angular speed of this. Next, I want, if length of the seconds hand is 10 centimeters, I want the linear velocity of the tip of the seconds hand. So I want this. So what is this problem? If length of seconds hand, length of the seconds hand, how much? 10 centimeters. You convert into meters. So that is 0.1 meters. 10 centimeters is 10 by 100, 0.1 meters. Meter is a SI unit. Centimeter is not SI unit. You have to substitute units in SI values. So length of the seconds hand. I want a linear velocity of the tip of the seconds hand. See, the clock, you assume this is the tip of the seconds hand. Okay. You can assume this is the tip of the seconds hand. Tip will be here. So its length is 10 centimeters. Let it be. So what is the linear velocity of this tip of the hands? So linear velocity is given by r omega. So V is equal to r omega. So that is what is our length of the seconds pendulum? That is 10 centimeters. That is 0.1. What is omega? Angular speed of the seconds hand, pi by 30. Okay. Unit is linear velocity. Unit is meters. Linear velocity unit is meter per second. So that is, this is you will get pi by 300 meter second inverse. Or if you want convert into centimeters per second, multiply with 100. That is pi by 3. Multiply with 100. You will get pi by 3 centimeters second inverse. Okay. Convert meter per second into centimeters per second. You multiply with 100. So pi 3. If you want still further simplify this, instead of pi you take it as 3.14. Okay. 3 by 3 nearly you will get 1 centimeter per second. Clear? Pi is 22 by 7. You substitute that value. You will get nearly 1 centimeter per second. So these are the few examples to understand this relation between linear, how to calculate linear velocity, angular velocity. So I explained with the help of these examples. Okay. Next one. Okay. So the next one is angular velocity. Angular velocity. Angular velocity is over. Angular acceleration. Okay. Angular acceleration. It is represented with letter alpha. It is defined as the rate of change of angular velocity is called angular acceleration. As I defined, acceleration is the rate of change of linear velocity, is called linear acceleration. In the same fashion, I define angular acceleration. Angular acceleration is the rate of change of angular velocity. That is alpha is equal to d omega by dt. Okay. So this is the formula for alpha. So what is its unit? Radian per second, second to the power minus 2. This is the SI unit of alpha. So it is also a vector quantity. Alpha is also vector quantity. Along its direction is alpha is along omega. So alpha is in which direction? Along omega. Omega, if both are in the parallel, that means they are in the same direction. Alpha is parallel to omega. If particle speeding up, that means if speed of the fan increases gradually, as you change the speedometer, you are increasing from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, like that. If you are increasing the speed of the fan, its angular speed increases. As angular speed increases, this change in angular speed, it has angular acceleration. That angular acceleration is also along the direction of omega. If it is speeding up, if it is slowing down, then this alpha is opposite to omega. That is, alpha is anti-parallel to omega. If it is particle, if particle slowing down, that is, as you decrease the speed of the fan, so this alpha and omega both are in opposite directions. Remember, both are axial vectors, both are along the axis of rotation. Okay, so this is the direction, this is the formula for alpha. Okay, as we defined alpha, this alpha is equal to so as alpha is equal to the rate of change of angular velocity. So see, now we are going to write equations of motion, okay, in kinematics. So if omega is equal to alpha is equal to change in angular velocity. So omega minus omega naught change by t, as I defined. What is omega? Initial angular velocity. What is omega? Final angular velocity. Okay. So omega is equal to omega change, means final minus initial, by time. That is alpha, as I defined. So this is the definition of alpha. As we have written, A is equal to V minus U by T. Okay, in rectilinear motion. In the same fashion, I am writing this one. So if you cross multiply this, omega minus omega naught, you will get omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t. As we have V is equal to U plus AT. As the first equation of motion, we have second equation of motion. The first equation of motion is omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t. So if you know the velocity, initial angular velocity, if you want velocity after t seconds, you will use this formula. So if you want angular displacement, so similarly if you want angular displacement, I will write theta is equal to, similarly we can write omega naught t plus half alpha t square. and v square omega square minus omega naught square is equal to 2 alpha theta. Okay, as I explained, s is equal to ut plus half at square, second equation of motion. Third equation of motion is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So by using similar equations, so we can write Sn is equal to u plus a into n minus half, distance travelled in nth second. Okay, I will write these equations once again because these are the important equations. So as equations of motion in kinematics, the first equation is omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t, as v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, so that is theta is equal to omega naught t plus half alpha t square. Okay, and v square minus u square is equal to 2as, that is omega square minus omega naught square is equal to 2 alpha theta. So as Sn is equal to u plus a into n minus half, similarly omega is equal to theta n is equal to theta u omega naught plus a alpha into n minus 1. Okay, so these are the equations of motion we studied. The same equations of motion in kinematics. What is omega here? Omega naught is initial angular velocity. Initial angular velocity. What is omega naught? Final angular velocity. Okay. What is alpha? Angular acceleration. Angular acceleration. What is t? Time. What is theta? Angular displacement. Angular displacement. Okay. So it is measured in radians. It is measured in radian per second square, radians per second. This one is radian second to the power minus 2. So these are the units. Okay. Now one more equation is there, that is here omega is equal to average velocity, average angular velocity. Average angular velocity is, it is omega naught plus omega naught by 2. Average angular velocity if alpha is uniform. If alpha is uniform angular velocity, angular acceleration, then average angular velocity omega is equal to initial plus final by 2. So we can write angular displacement theta is equal to average velocity, angular velocity into time. So theta is equal to average angular velocity into time. So what is theta? Angular displacement. Angular displacement is theta is equal to average velocity omega plus omega naught by 2 into t. Okay, as I explained, displacement is equal to average velocity u plus v by 2 into t, as we explained in the previous classes. Okay, so these are the angular velocity. In the same fashion we derive these equations. As we derive like this, the same fashion we can derive like this. Okay, So these equations are called equations of kinematic equations of circular motion. Okay, take these equations. So we are discussing this kinematics of circular motion. Okay, so I explained angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration. Now let us consider this example. Okay, now I want the next one is so V is equal to, as I am explaining this, let us consider a particle moves in a circular path. Okay, so circular path. So let it be circular motion. Okay, now as its linear velocity V is equal to, we have V is equal to R omega. So V is equal to R omega. As I assumed here, what is V? Linear velocity, isn't it? What is R? Radius vector along the radius. What is omega? If it is anti-clockwise, omega will be like this. Okay, so this omega and V are mutually perpendicular direction. Initially I assumed that it is moving with a constant speed. Suppose if its velocity changes, now see its magnitude changes and this direction also changes. So as I assumed that this is a variable, okay, V is variable. So as omega, I will assume, I will now, if theta angle between them is 90 degrees. So I will write V is equal to R omega. Now I am differentiating this one. Okay, this is differentiate with respect to time. So what you will get? So V is equal to dV by dt. dV by dt, that is equal to R omega. I will write here R bar is omega. First I take omega, I am differentiating this one d omega by dt. This can also be written as omega bar cross R bar in vector form. Okay, so I am differentiating this one dV by dt, d omega by dt into R plus if you keep omega as constant, I am using the product formula, that is dr by dt. Okay, and omega I take it as constant and R dr by dt. Okay, dr by dt. So I will write this one is d omega by dt into R plus omega into dr by dt. So that is, so dV by dt, here d omega by dt is alpha into R, omega. Instead of omega, this R is the rate of change of position vector. So this R, rate of change of position vector, we can write it as here alpha plus omega. Instead of omega, we can write it as V by R. I am writing omega, instead of omega, I am writing V by R. If dr by dt, if you write velocity changes, I will write this one V I take inside and R I take it outside. That is, I will write it as dV by dt. Okay. So here I am using the formula omega is equal to once again I am using omega is equal to V by R. As omega is equal to V is equal to omega R, I will write omega is equal to V by R, dV by dt. Okay, this R and R I take it as get cancelled. So this is the acceleration of this acceleration is, we can write it as this is alpha R. Acceleration of this is alpha R, alpha times R plus dV by dt. dV by dt we can also write dV by dt. Okay, so here dV by dt. So this, when a particle moves in a circular path, it possesses two types of accelerations. One, this acceleration is called, this is the acceleration is equal to, this acceleration is, I write it as R alpha is centripetal acceleration omega square R. Omega square R. Okay, see here I will write this one as in vector form. I am differentiating with respect to time. Omega bar cross R bar, dV by dt is acceleration, and d omega R by dt, this is cross R bar plus omega into dr by dt. Okay, omega into dr by dt. So here I am using uv formula in differentiation. Okay, so what you will get here, uv formula, I will get dV by dt is acceleration, rate of change of velocity, acceleration. So d omega by dt is alpha cross R bar plus omega bar cross R bar. dr by dt is rate of change of position vector. It gives velocity. Okay, so this acceleration, it possesses two types of components. So A is equal to alpha bar cross R bar. This is tangential acceleration at plus this omega bar cross V bar, that is normal acceleration an. So this acceleration, when a particle moves in a circular path, it has two components. The first one is the first component is tangential acceleration at. What is at? Tangential acceleration alpha, it is given by alpha cross R bar or alpha R. In non-vector form, alpha into R, because alpha and R are perpendicular to each other. This is alpha times R. And normal acceleration, this is a tangential acceleration along the tangent, it's a direction. It is also, we can write it as dV by dt. Tangential acceleration, we can also write it as dV by dt. The second one is, second component is normal acceleration. So normal acceleration is an, it is given by omega bar cross V bar. Omega and V bar are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so this we can also write it as omega V. Since V is equal to R omega, an is equal to, we can write it as omega square R or V square by R. This acceleration is called normal acceleration, or it has another name, centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration. So what is its direction? Towards the center. Towards the center. So this acceleration is towards the center. This is the direction of centripetal acceleration. It has another name, normal acceleration. So when a particle moves in a circular path with variable speed, it has two components of accelerations. Number one is, first one is tangential acceleration. It is given by AT r cross alpha bar cross r bar or alpha r, or AT is equal to dV by dt. See, I will explain with this in the diagrams. Okay, so that is, see, let it be a particle moves in a circular path in anti-clockwise direction. So this is the radius vector. Okay, radius vector. This is the velocity vector. As the velocity changes, this is the component of acceleration, has two components. So first component is towards the center. So towards the center, that is AN. Second one is tangential component, AT. It is along the tangent. So the acceleration is resultant of these two. So it will be not always towards the center. It may be like this, according to parallelogram law. Okay. So when a particle moves in a circular path with variable speed, it has two components of accelerations. Number one, tangential acceleration. It is along the tangent or in the direction of V. Second one, which arises, this arises because change in the magnitude of velocity. It arises, tangential acceleration, due to change in the magnitude of velocity. Second one is, its direction changes. Due to change in direction of velocity, acceleration arises. That component is towards the center. That component is called centripetal acceleration. It is given by the formula omega square r v square by r. These two formulas are very important. Okay. So suppose here the body has these resultant accelerations. I want a direction of this acceleration, which makes an angle theta alpha with this one. See, if it is AN, this one is also AN. So if it makes an angle alpha with the AT, I want alpha. So tan alpha is equal to AN by AT. Okay, so alpha is tan inverse AN by AT. Okay, so this is direction of acceleration. What is this? Direction of acceleration of a particle when it moves in a circular path with variable velocity, variable speed. This is the direction. I want its magnitude. Since AN, AT are perpendicular, since AN is perpendicular to AT, how AN and AT will be along the tangent, AN will be along radius towards the center. So since these two are perpendicular, acceleration is then acceleration A is equal to square root of AN square plus AT square. Okay, so this is the acceleration, magnitude of acceleration. Okay, so